कॉपीराइट की वजह से साउंड बंद किया हुआ है। प्लीज़ देखते रहिए हमारा चैनल और प्लीज़ इसको सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर कर दें। ग्यारहवें ओवर की पहली बॉल पे ये दूसरी विकेट गिरी है। 48 को 2 आउट है।
and Ptv Sport Online on Toots Road.
So Josh Cobb back strike, going to be with him to see the arm spinner. Far end. He comes in to Cobb on the leg side. It's going to be signalled wide. Just dragging that one through down the leg side with his arm. Imad Wazir round the wicket, the left armour in to Cobb down the leg side. Here's another go. And this time Cobb looks to cut that one through the offside. Straight through to the fielder, no run. He is getting through his over quickly. Imad Wazir. Mohamed Hasnain, not so. So Wazim comes in to Cobb, who drives that straight to extra, no run. He's got a long on and a long off. Deep mid wicket as well. Deep cover. The 4 men outside the ring. As Imad comes in to Cobb once again, who just defends this straight back to him. Run. 59 for 2 in the 16th over North. Imad in to Cobb, who just guides this one backward of point to the fielder though. Start contrasting how quickly we get the overs from each end. Imad once again to Cobb, who defends this. Just jog through for a single. Safraz adjusting his field there. The deep cover comes inside the circle to Thurston. Continuing round the wicket. Comes into Thurston, this one on his legs, and he just flicks that one around the corner, but straight to the short fine leg. And that is the end of the 16th over. Northants 60 for 2, and yet to get off the mark. Josh Cobb on to 29. Captain for the day, job of course. Just to take you through what has happened so far. Northants winning the hits and choosing to bat here. And Richard Levy out from the very first ball of the match. Bowled by Mohamed Amir, dragging a wide delivery onto stumps. Ben Curran gone in a similar fashion after a decent partnership with Cobb, but drag
from Mohamed Hasnain, who was also struck Thurston, but because he was struck on the front of the helmet. It was, I suppose, easier to ride, whereas Vasconcelos struck on the side of the helmet, where the helmet's closer to the head. It was a bit more painful, and Vasconcelos leaving the ground. So watch this space on that one, with Wednesday's One Day Cup match coming up against Yorkshire here. It's a 1 o'clock start. I'll be back here for that one, but won't be set where we are here on the television gantry, because it is live on TV. We'll be shunted off down to our left-hand side on Wednesday. So Harris to continue for the far end, left arm round, and Thurston going to sweep, gets stuck on the pad. There's a brief cry for LBW. The ball would have drifted down the leg side, and the ball bounces away to backward square leg, and there's no run. Harris once again on the leg stump and swept for 4 this time. It was a poor ball. The bowler knows it. He has his hands in his head with his bobble hat on still, as Thurston sweeps away towards the bank of blue seats now, or was bank of blue seats, I beg your pardon, to our left. They've been replaced this season. They're now white chairs away to our left-hand side, just round from the Players' Pavilion. Thurston goes to 22, 97 for 2 Northants in the 22nd. And again, a very smart piece of timing by Charlie Thurston. Harris in once more and trying to drive here, Thurston, and one just bounces a little bit and goes away from the right-hander. Thurston plays and misses. Backward point, deep cover, extra cover and a mid-off. and a long on deep mid-wicket, and they were considering bringing the backward square leg across, but he stayed put as Harris goes in again, and Thurston back to cut, gets it past Imam at backward point, and this is running down towards the backward point boundary, will be cut off, and they come back. Well, they did get just a single actually in the end. I thought they were going to come back for a second run, but just one available as Ashraf Ali runs around the fence away to our right hand side in front of the groundsman shed. 98 for 2. Cobb back on strike at 43. Cobb just gently forward, pushes down the ground, not past extra cover. Decent piece of fielding from Babar Azam in there. Quickly to his right hand side, no run. Harris once more from the far end, floats it up on the middle and leg stump, and Cobb gently forward, pushes back towards the bowler. And there is no run to end the 22nd. 98 for 2, Northamptonshire. Winning the toss, choosing to bat first, and going, I suppose, OK, Nikesh.
Not too bad at all. Effectively 98 for 3, but Cobb has certainly looked very good indeed for his 43, holding this innings together. And Charlie Thurston, since he's come out, has enjoyed batting against the spinners. He's quickly moved on to 23. A couple of good shots off Yasir Shah, Haris Sahel, Imad Wazeem before that as well. Yasir Shah to continue in his short sleeves. No surprise really, he is from the northwest frontier province on the border with Afghanistan. Very cold winters there in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region of Pakistan, so used to the colder weather.
So Northampton's tropical by contrast. Here he comes for his fourth over. Bowls to Thurston with now his maroon helmet, comes forward and just defends back to the bowler's left hand for no run. He's got a sweatband on his right forearm here, Yazir, as he just moves his long on a bit wider to our right. Comes in again, Thurston square driving again. It's got that shot away a couple of times now. Finds the sweeper on the cover boundary away to our left-hand side, and Thurston takes a single more, goes to 24, 99 for 2 in the 23rd over here, Northants. Big screen has gone blank again to our right. I'm sure it'll be back in a sec, don't worry. Yazir to Cobb, and Cobb is forward, and he too is finding the cover sweeper away to our left-hand side, and that brings the 100 up for Northamptonshire. The 50 was barely acknowledged, but the 100 has generous applause from around the ground. Not a great crowd in today, as you would expect for effectively a friendly on a Monday. There are a few Pakistani followers in, it must be said, as Yazir comes in again, and forward is Thurston playing towards backward point, and there is no run. 100 for 2 in the 23rd over. Yazir with a towel in the back of his trousers. Steps in again, bowls very full, and Thurston drives pleasantly, but only as far as Imam al-Haq at extra cover with his sun hat on. So a great contrast here, some fielders in beanie hats and some in sun hats. Sun just pokes through again as Yazir bowls all down the leg side, and Thurston misses trying to sweep. Nicely taken by Sarfraz, quickly to his left-hand side. Just try to fire in maybe a bit of a slider there, Yazir. He seemed to just push it through a bit quicker. Thurston trying to sweep away down the leg side, missed out. 101 for 2. Yazir again, and Thurston driving, thickish inside edge this time. Runs away to mid-wicket. And there is no run to end the 23rd over. 101 for 2, Northamptonshire. Cobb is 44. And Thurston is 24. Here with myself, Alex Winter, and Nikesh Raghani here at Wantage Road, BBC Sport Online and BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra. Good day to you all, wherever you may be this fine Monday. I think so far, Nikesh, both sides will be fairly pleased.
Yeah, the Pakistanis bowled well early on. Mohammad Amir and Junaid Khan certainly getting a good workout. Mohammad Hasnain as well. And the spinners getting through some overs. I think that is key in these warm-up matches for Pakistan. They've just arrived in England. Long summer ahead, of course, with the series against England, then the World Cup. Just want to get the overs in the bank.
Harris from the far end continues, and Cobb is forward, pushing out to extra cover, and there is no run. You're here for a long time with the series against England and then the World Cup, but perfect preparation for them, playing the World Cup hosts before the competition gets underway. As Cobb here clears the front leg and looks to drive lavishly, maybe out through extra cover. In the end gets a bit of a thickish inside edge down towards long on. And they jog through for a single, and Cobb immediately calls for a change of gloves. 102 for 2. Cobb, captain for the day, has 45. And now Thurston is square driving at Harris and gets him away towards the big screen, away to our right-hand side for a single. And goes to 25, 103 for 2 in the 24th over here, Northants. Harris into Cobb again, and Cobb just waiting for this patiently in the crease, and then with a flick of the wrists steers it out towards the coffee van away to our right hand side. A converted horse box down there. Plenty of room for one horse in the horse box. 104 for 2. Thurston back on strike, and he is cutting as well, and an awkward bit of fielding from Imam al-Haq at backward point. Ball bounced very awkwardly on the edge of the square, and he had to go tumbling down to his right-hand side to make the save. Harris once more, past the umpire. Thurston down the pitch, has chipped one back to the bowler and falls very tamely for 25. That's a disappointment for Charlie Thurston, because he'd appeared to have settled nicely and just done in the flight there, it appeared, pushing keenly forward at Harris Sahel, chipping a catch back to the bowler. Very, very simple catch. Thurston is gone for 25, and Northants 104 for 3 now.
Soft dismissal there for Charlie Thurston, who again looks very disappointed with himself. Got himself set. Was looking good, was looking to attack the spinners. Showed very good intent from the very off. And he'll know there was a big score in the offing for him. There wasn't any great turn from the Pakistani spinners. Harris Sahel had been a bit loose, struggled with his line, has bowled a few sort of wide of off stump down the leg side. But he's got his man in the end, caught and bowled for 25.
So safe save out at number 6 for Northants, because they are in effect 4 down here, with Ricardo Vasconcelos having retired hurt. Zabe played at Old Trafford, his only appearance of the season so far. He's been around the club for a very long time, Zabe. Was considered a bit of a phenomenon when he was a teenager. Was handed a 3-year contract at the age of 16, but hasn't really cracked it so far. But a good chance here today. Could only make 16 on last Wednesday at Old Trafford. Didn't play here on Friday against Worcestershire, because Northants went in with the extra seamer. But a chance now here with over half the innings to go. We're in the 20, or about to start the 25th over. That was the last ball of the 24th, I beg your pardon. So 104 for 3. Northants still have Cobb there on 46. Zabe with him now. And Cobb, the right-hander, facing Yazir Shah from the 1-2 try then. He goes back and pushes a gently turning delivery. Back to the bowler's left hand, there's no run. Short third man, backward point. Deep cover, extra cover. Then long on, long off. Short mid-wicket. And they're toing and froing with the deep square now, away to our right-hand side. Eventually they leave him back towards the big screen. Short fine leg completes the field as Cobb goes back and pushes to the bowler's right hand, and Yazir in his follow-through goes across to collect down by his right-hand side, and there's no run. Cobb with a long-sleeve shirt, settles over his bat. Yazir is in, and Cobb goes high up over mid-wicket. This is looping up towards the outfield. Fielder coming around, doesn't get there, and they're going to come back for a second run. Cobb trying to slog sweep the leg spinner. It went higher rather than longer and looped away for a couple of runs in the end before Ali from the mid-wicket fence could get across. 106 for 3. Cobb goes to 48. Yazir bowls once more, skids one through, and Cobb in front of the off stump drops the bat down to this. and just about steers it away to backward point and survives yet again. It was a miscued slog swoop there from Cobb, who might have been run out much earlier in the day as well. Yazir goes into him once more, and he's very forward to this and plays down towards long off, away to our left-hand side, where Fakar Zaman runs away a few yards to do the fielding. Cobb goes to 49 now, 107 for 3 in the 25th over. And Saif Zaib will face his first delivery here. Last season, Zaib played the last 2 of the one-day cup matches, could only make 10 and 2. Slip in here as he faces Yazir Shah, and there's a catch behind the wicket. Appeal for an LBW shout as well there, but altogether not outgiven by umpire Rob White at this Wantage Road end. So 25 overs gone, and Northants 107 for 3. Nikesh.
Yeah, Josh Cobb 49. Saif Zaib yet to get off the mark, and as you say, a bit of an appeal there initially, I think, for an LBW, and then Sarfraz Ahmed interested in the catch down the leg side behind the wicket. Both appeals turned down by the umpires. It's been a watchful innings from Josh Cobb. 72 balls he's faced so far for his 49. Here he is on strike to Haris Sohail and cuts this one out to the sweeper on the offside, and that is his 50. Round of applause here from the crowd at Northants
50 for Josh Cobb
as he raises his bat towards the pavilion, towards his teammates. Very watchful innings, but he's really gluing this innings together as far as Northants are concerned. Came in when Richard Levy was dismissed off the very first ball of the match. Saif Zaib back on strike now. Just defends this one from Haris Sohail, straight back to the bowler, no run. Haris in once again to Zaib, this one full and driven, straight to the extra cover fielder. No run once again. These left arm spinners in the Pakistan side spent a bit of time with Monty Panesar down at Kent, who was bowling to them in the nets. As Haris Sohail comes into Zaib again, he just works this one towards mid-on, but well fielded, no run. I wonder if Monty passed on any tips to the likes of Haris Sohail and Imad Wasim. Haris comes in again to Zaib, who just defends this towards mid-wicket, no run again. And Monty Panesar, looking to get back into the first-class game, of course, was invited down by Kent to bowl at the Pakistanis in the nets. This time Zaib down the wicket, but just pushes this one straight to extra cover. Another dot ball to finish off the 26th over. Northants now 108 for 3.
Josh Cobb's 50 came in 73 balls with 4 fours and 1 6.
So as you may have heard there, 73 balls for Josh Cobb's 50, 4 boundaries and a 6. Very watchful innings.
They heard, don't worry. It's a mighty PA system here at Wantage Road. Struggle to compete with it. And there is a speaker to our right-hand side as well, which doesn't help. And the roof of this Ken Turner stand, the sound reverberates around inside it.
Yasir Shah to continue. Cobb on strike. Just pushes this one into the covers. No run. Sweeper at deep cover. Long off, long on. Deep mid-wicket as well. Shah into Cobb again. This one's shorter and punched off the back foot through the cover region out to the sweeper for a single. Hamid Hasnain with his woolly hat still on. So slip in place for Saif Zaib as Yasir Shah comes in. This one full and driven uppishly down towards long on for a single.
Yeah, big cry of catch there. Just wonder it was straight off the bat in the air.
It initially looked like a bump ball.
Yeah.
They were interested, the Pakistanis. So Zaib off the mark with that single. Cobb back on strike. Here comes Shah. Full and just driven down towards long on for another single. Mohamed Amir back on the field. Put his feet up for a brief time after his spell of bowling earlier on. So Shah into Zabe this time, who drives straight back to him, and a good catch down to his left. Diving away there, Yasir Shah. And he's got his man. That was punched powerfully back to him, down towards long on, but Yasir Shah diving down towards his left, plucks it out of the air, and that is a 4th wicket for the Pakistanis. Safe Zabe gone for 1, and Northants 111 for 4 now in the 27th over.
Cracking catch, really smart take from Yasir Shah, because it didn't really get that high off the ground. That little punch from Zabe back to the bowler's left hand, threw himself quickly down to his left. It was a very, very smart take. And Zabe, another chance comes and goes for him. And just wonder how long he might have left here at Northants. He's been around the club for a long, long time now. Constantly told he's got plenty of potential and still a developing cricketer, but has had his chances, and yet to really make a big score to make you stand up and think, I think we can work with this fella for the next few years. I'll be around for the rest of the summer, but failing again here today. So in effect 5 down now, Northants, just after the halfway mark, and just beginning to list a bit this innings, isn't it?
Absolutely. Josh Cobb still there and beaten on 52, trying his best to hold things together. The Pakistanis certainly back in this one. Yasir Shah with a first wicket today. 1 ball remaining in his 6th over. He's bowled them consecutively today. Haris Sahel from the other end as well has picked up a wicket, as have Mohamed Amir and Mohamed Hasnain. As Ian Holland takes strike. Comes out to join Josh Cobb. Slip in place as well for Holland. As Yasir Shah comes in. This one's full outside the off stump, defended into the covers, no run. Dot ball to finish off the 27th over then. Northants 111 for 4. Effectively 5 with Vasconcelos having retired hurt after being struck by Mohamed Hasnain.
Very sleepy day in Northampton. Little intensity about this fixture so far, really. In stark contrast to the tour match here last year, it was a proper first-class game between Pakistan and Northants, and both teams had very strong 11s out. Shortly before the Pakistanis went to play Ireland in the inaugural Test match before the series against England, it was a really good fixture.
Haris Sahel to continue. Josh Cobb, who just hits this one straight to mid-on, no run. Interesting you say 11 aside. Quite rare we see that from touring sides nowadays. Normally have 13 or 14. Sahel this time shorter to Cobb, who slaps this straight to extra cover, no run. That's probably part of the reason why Pakistan have been pretty successful in the last couple of tours of England. They've competed in the Test matches. This one down the leg side. It's going to be signalled wide. Another extra onto the total. Harris into Cobb once again, onto the pads, and slight thought of an appeal for an LBW. I think he may have got an inside edge onto that one though, Josh Cobb. Harris this time outside the off stump and defended straight back to him by Cobb. shorter and just punched through the covers by Cobb, out to the sweeper on the offside. They jog through for a single to bring Holland back onto strike. To the 28th over, Northants 113 for 4. Sahel into Holland this time, who drives this off the back foot down towards long on for a single. And that is the end of the 28th over. Northants 114 for 4. Holland off the mark with that single. Cobb at the other end on 53. If you're just joining us, good afternoon. This is me, Nikesh Shrigani, alongside Alex Winter. The commentary on Pakistan's second tour match on their tour of England. 50 over contest here against Northants. Pakistan, of course, winning their first tour match against Kent at the weekend. Commentary here on 5 Live Sports Extra and on the BBC Sport website as Yasir Shah continues to Holland, who just punches this one off the back foot straight back to him. Shah into Holland once again. This one punched back down the ground towards long on. They jog through for a single. Mohammed Amir, the fielder down there. In fact, Imad Wazim, Mohammed Amir is at long off as Shah comes in to Cobb this time, short and outside the off stump and guided beautifully down towards the third man boundary for 4 runs. Very well played there by Josh Cobb, just rocking onto the back foot, slightly shorter from Yasir Shah and just outside the off stump. And Cobb picking out the gap beautifully. Another boundary for Josh Cobb, who moves on to 57.
I think you were a little generous there, Nikesh. It looked like a bit of a thickish outside edge. He was trying to steer it away, but it flashed away. Fine of short third man. Oohs and ahs from the bowler.
Again guided down towards third man, but straight to the fielder inside the circle, and Cobb sent back by Holland. Looking for a single there. Shah into Cobb again, this time down the leg side, signalled wide. Just straying with his line there, Yasir Shah, looking for a little bit of extra turn. Hasn't been much for the spinners this afternoon. Shah in once again, this time off stump line and just pushed into the covers for a single. So Cobb on to 58. Josh Cobb captain for the day here for Northants. Holland at the other end on 2, and Holland is on strike. Slip comes into place. So Yasir Shah comes in, and this one full and driven by Holland down towards Mohammed Amir, this time at long off for a single. And that is the end of the 29th over. Northants now 122 for 4. And having taken over an hour and 20 minutes for the first 15 overs, the next 14 have taken around 45 minutes.
Just good to see. Skipping through them towards lunch here. And lunch already being served in the curry bar down to our right-hand side. Some white smoke is emerging from the marquee around to our right-hand side.
And there's a barbecue on there, isn't there? You can see some kebabs on skewers down there.
Good cue down there as well. FM now for BBC Radio Northampton listeners, so bear with. 122 for 4 here in Northamptonshire in the 30th over. Josh Cobb leading their progress on 58 not out, and Ian Holland has just come to join Cobb in the middle on 3. But Cobb has had little support really from the other end, because Richard Levy fell first ball of the innings. Ben Curran made 23 before he, like Levy, dragged the ball into his own stumps. Ricardo Vasconcelos got a nasty blow on the helmet from Mohamed Hasnain, struck him on the side of the lid, had extended treatment, did bat on for a couple of deliveries before going off the ground. Now he has been checked over and is okay, but as a precaution ahead of the one-day cup game here against Yorkshire on Wednesday. But some concern for Vasconcelos, having been struck on the helmet. Can never be too sure with concussion protocols as they are nowadays, but for the moment Vasconcelos told. Safe Zabe also falling for one. Caught and bowled by the leg spinner Yazir Shah, and Charlie Thurston, who played nicely for his 25, got his angles wrong really and chipped a catch back up to another spinner Sohail and was caught for 25. So Cobb leading Northants' progress here as the sun peaks out here at Wantage Road. He's on 58. 2-2 for 4 in the 30th over.
This one driven uppishly by Ian Holland through the backward point region. He's going to get a boundary for it. It's a thick outside edge there as he was looking to drive that one from Junaid Khan through the offside. Just wide of the backward point fielder. Some keen Pakistan fans out on the third man boundary, just getting some autographs from Imad Wasim. He's fielding out there. Good to see some support for the touring side as well, as Junaid comes in over the wicket once again to Holland, who drives this time, but straight to extra cover, no run. The sun has just disappeared for a while here in Northampton. Thick cloud up above. A few little gaps of blue sky over to our right. Junaid comes in once again to Holland, and this time flicked down towards fine leg. Mohamed Amir, the fielder, down there. Just another single there to Holland. Moves on to 8. Northants 127 for 4 in the 30th over. Josh Cobb back on strike. He's played very well for his 58. Northants captain today. Junaid into Cobb this time, who just defends this into the offside. No run. And we did see Junaid getting just a little bit of movement with the new ball early on when he opened the bowling. Nothing now with the older white ball. Tends to stop moving around after 5 or 6 overs or so. Still good pace here from Junaid Khan. The sun's back out as Junaid comes in to Cobb once again, this time short, very short in fact, and signalled wide as Josh Cobb just sways out of the way of that. Good pace again from Junaid, but just digging it in a little bit too short and over head height in the end.
Went way over Cobb's head, but it was the nonchalant take from Sarfraz that I enjoyed. Just casually watched it and then sent up a right arm above his shoulder and took it out of the sky as if he was plucking an apple from a tree.
So Junaid in once again to Cobb. This one shorter and down the leg side and flicked around the corner towards fine leg for another single. And that's the end of the 30th over. Northants 129 for 4. Cobb moves on to 59. Ian Holland at the other end on 8.
So Tom Sole, and then just the bowlers to come here for Northants, Buck Hutton and the returning Mohamed Azarullah. How wonderful to see him back. He's a great character, really nice fella, and I'm sure plenty here at Wantage Road will be pleased to see him back in Northants colours here today. But they'll be hoping that they won't have to see him bat because he's not too much cop with bat in hand. Although I did see his finest hour, made a half-century down at Canterbury a few years ago now. Mohammed Amir is back from the Wantage Road end. 129 for 4 after 30. Bowls left arm over to Cobb, who from the crease just pokes this backward of point and sets off for a sharp single, and they get home comfortably. So Cobb goes to 60, and Northants 130 for 4 here at the start of the 31st over. Amir's first burst from this Wantage Road end, 4 overs, 1 made and 1 for 17. Richard Levy dragging into his own stumps to the first ball of the innings. And now back for another burst. Just a case of Sarfraz getting overs into the legs of all his bowlers here today. Wantage Road now bathed in glorious sunshine as Amir goes in and Holland defends from the crease out to extra cover. And there is no run. A very interesting tale about Ian Holland. He was born in Wisconsin and then raised in Australia. And the way his cricket career got going, he won a reality programme in Victoria where I think it was Darren Lehman was one of the judges.
Wow.
And if you won the competition, you got yourself a short-term contract with Victoria. So that's how his first-class career started. And then his father's British, so he has a British passport. As Amir goes in, this is forced away by Holland out to Amal Hack at backward point, and there's no run. So with his British passport, came over to try and make the grade in England, was playing some club cricket here as well before picked up by Hampshire. Hasn't played too much one-day cricket. His debut for Northants here on Friday was just his 3rd list day match. He's only played 1 T20 as well. Getting more chance against the white ball here for Northants. He'll be around for the remaining 3 one-day cup matches. Slip now goes in. Amir goes in again. This is chopped away past backward point by Ian Holland. And they'll get just a single as the ball runs away into the deep, away to our left-hand side. Fielder running away from the cover boundary.
Quick question then, is he, I mean, you may not know this, but is he the first class cricketer to be born in Wisconsin? Does anybody know? Let us know on Twitter if you do. Can't have been too many.
I know Benny Howell, who plays for Gloucestershire, he was born in Bordeaux. So a rare French-born first-class cricketer. 3-1 for 4. Cobb back on strike, and he drives at Amir and gets a thick inside edge that runs away through square leg out towards the big screen to our right-hand side. And Cobb goes to 61 now. 132 for 4, Northants in the 31st over. Doesn't say where in Wisconsin he was born, just in the state of Wisconsin, somewhere north of Chicago. What else is in Wisconsin? Milwaukee, is that Wisconsin up that way?
You may be right.
Green Bay, is that Wisconsin? The Green Bay Packers, do they play in Wisconsin? Mohammed Amir is in to Holland, and Holland defends from the crease out towards mid-off, where running to his right-hand side is a substitute fieldersman down there, collects in a bobble hat as the over comes to an end. 31 gone here, Northants are 1-3-2 for 4. And the substitute fielder Hassan Ali doing the work there, coming to his right-hand side. So despite some warming sunshine, still a bit chilly for some of these Pakistanis who are used to spending their time in the Middle East now, where they play a lot of their cricket. 1-3-2 for 4, Northants after 31 overs.
And the Pakistanis used to playing in front of very few spectators as well in the Middle East, just like we have here today. In fact, there might be more in here at Northampton than,
there would be
than some of the test
yeah.
matches in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Unless, of course, it is on a Friday there when they do tend to get better crowds.
So Junaid from the far end bowls to Cobb, who from the crease angles this towards Imam al-Haq at backward point, and there's no run. 1-3-2 for 4. And that's great. Certainly the stadium in Dubai, massive bowl, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fine arena, but
and they tend to get
no
better crowds for the limited overs stuff. Test matches don't tend to be as popular. And it tends to be Pakistani expats living in the Middle East who go and watch them rather than the locals. Although whenever England tour there, the Barmy Army do take good numbers.
Junaid again from the far end, left arm over, and Cobb from the crease. This time runs it down to third man. Away to our right-hand side. Hassan Ali, the substitute, is running away from the curry bar down there. It's going to get a nice waft of curry in his nostrils down there. Away to our right. 1-3 for 4, and Hassan Ali goes across to post for a selfie down there as well with a couple of Pakistani supporters here for the day. Cobb has 62 now, playing a captain's knock for his side, holding this innings together. Very slow progress for Northamptonshire after winning the toss. As Junaid comes in again, and Holland drags into his stumps. Off stump out of the ground, and a third Northants batsman has got an inside edge into his own stumps, and Holland is gone for 9. And Northants lose a 6th wicket, 1-3 for 6.
Yep, another one, as you say. Junaid Khan this time, the bowler. Just that a bit of extra pace as Holland was trying to punch that one through the offside. A little bit of extra pace, perhaps a little bit of an inducker as well, seaming in off the pitch slightly, and Holland making his way back for 9. So Josh Cobb running out of partners fast.
He is, yeah. Here comes Tom Sole at number 8 for Northants rather, because technically 5 down, but in effect 6 because of Ricardo Vasconcelos retiring hurt. And as I said to Radio Northampton listeners in the update just after 1, Ricardo Vasconcelos is doing okay. He's passed the concussion examination, but certainly unlikely to bat again, we're told, as a precaution ahead of the one-day game on Wednesday. So for the moment he's okay, which is good news, because it was quite a painful blow he took from Mohammed Hasnain earlier in the piece. But having made only 1, Northants effectively losing one of their batsmen very cheaply that they needed to make a score here today. They've lost Levy for a golden duck, Curran for 23, Thurston for 25, Zabe for 1, Holland for 9, and in effect Vasconcelos for 1 as well. So certainly a danger here that Northants aren't going to bat out the 50, because they're 1-3 effectively for 6 in the 32nd over. And out comes Tom Sole for the first time for the Northants first team in 2019. Scotland international, playing for Scotland A earlier this year. Junaid runs in from the far end, and Sole is back and across, playing up towards the bowler's left hand, and there is no run. For those who don't know, Tom's father, David Sole, was the Scotland rugby captain. Led them to a famous victory over England in 1990. Denied England the Grand Slam at Murrayfield. Match that has gone down in folklore already. It was the subject of an excellent book called The Grudge. Sole Jr. here waits for Junaid, bat in hand, and plays and misses just outside the off stump. One just goes across the right-hander, and Sole feeling for it. Played and missed. Nicely delivered. Played 3 times this season, certainly in the twice this season for Northants second 11. 39 on his last outing against Warwickshire over at Desborough. Also played at Trent Bridge against Notts seconds at the start of April. This is first team appearance in 2019. Slip goes in, Junaid goes in, and Sole drives, and fielded out at extra cover, and the over comes to an end. So 32 gone now. 1-3 for 5 Northamptonshire. Cobb still there on 62, but now Tom Sole out at number 8, yet to score. And the big screen away to our right hand side appears to have given up the ghost over there.
Yeah, someone's forgotten to put their 50p coin in the meter, haven't they?
Well, there was a wonderful, I say wonderful, it was comical situation that used to happen here, that if you turned one of the kettles on in the press box, the scoreboard went off. It was bizarre. They were linked to the same power source somehow. So 1-3-3 for 5, and Mohamed Amir going in to Cobb, who clips it away down towards third man. This is going quickly on, runs for 4. They're not renowned for their fielding, this Pakistani side, and that wasn't the sharpest piece of work. Out on the far side of the ground, tumbling away to his right-hand side. Fieldsman down there in the deep, and Cobb picks up a boundary. Goes to 66, 1-3-7 for 5 at the start of the 33rd over.
Haven't they, in the field, the Pakistanis today, apart from Yasir Shah with that caught and bowled. It's interesting that off their own bowling, some of these Pakistanis are well in the outfield, very leisurely today.
Full length dive to his right hand side, and should have been saved really, but Cobb will take it. Got 66 now, and he diverts the next from Amir down to third man, down towards the car park, adjacent to the Wilson stand down there. And they get a single more, so Cobb goes to 67, 1-3-8 for 5. Giving the score tentatively here, because the board away to our left hand side is just about flicking over okay, but the scoreboard away to our right, the big screen, is now completely blank. Only installed a couple of weeks ago over there. Amir goes in, and Sol forwards here and takes a run down to third man, and this time the fielding is good in the distance. Deters the second run, and Sol goes to... No, Sol should get off the mark there. 1-3-9 for 5. This time the scoreboard has flicked over very promptly away to our left. 1-3-9 for 5 is indeed the total. We're definitely in the 33rd over, because the bowling began at this Wantage Road end. It was yet to tick along on the scoreboard adjacent to the signal box away to our left. Amir is into Cobb. Right-hander, slower ball, and forward, feeling for it. A little bit squared out, pushes in the air for a while, but safely back up past the bowler to mid-on. And there is no run. Mohamed Amir here in the touring party for the squad against England for the series to come, but not in the initial World Cup 15. Goes in left arm over, and Cobb, not for the first time, steers the ball down to third man. Amir howls as the ball runs down towards the Wilson stand for a single more. He could do with a gullion, I think, just to deter Cobb from playing through that region with quite comfort, it must be said so far. He's got 68 now, Cobb, 140 for 5 North Ends. But of the team here, or of the players that have appeared in the last couple of matches at Beckenham on Saturday and here today, there are 3 not in the World Cup 15, as Amir bowls a bumper to Tom Sol, who bends his knees, drops the hands, and allows it to pass to Safraz behind the stumps. End of the over, 33 gone, and North Ends are 140 for 5. In effect 6, with Vasconcelos very unlikely to bat again. Cobb still there on 68. Yasir Shah, Asif Ali and Mohamed Amir, the 3 who have played either on Saturday at Beckenham or here against North Ends that aren't in the World Cup 15. Shoaib Malik played on Saturday, isn't playing here, isn't in the 16 names put down here today, not one of the reserve fieldsmen, but he is in the World Cup 15. England have also named their preliminary squad and a 17 to play against Pakistan. Meeting up in a camp in Cardiff as we speak, as Junaid bowls from the far end, and Cobb opens the blade on this down to Imam Ul-Haq away to our right hand side at third man. He runs in front of the curry bar, collects, and then sends in a terrible throw to Safraz. You can't make an old man run that far.
And talking of England's squads. Of course, the news this morning that Alex Hales has been removed from all of the England squads for the game against Ireland, the games against Pakistan and the World Cup squad after the off-the-field issues which he's been having. So there is a place up for grabs in the England squads.
Junaid once more from the far end. Sun pokes through again, and Sol just pokes this out towards point. Barbara Azam there, away to our right-hand side, and there is no run. Yeah, story emerged that Alex Hales had failed a second drugs test and was serving a 21-day ban. That's why he hasn't appeared in the one-day cup so far. But removed from the England squad for the World Cup. We're very interesting to see whether he turns up here this time next week for Notts. As Junaid moves in and goes past the outside edge, with Sol pushing forward. On flying through to Safra as he goes to his right-hand side to take it. 1-4-1 for 5 here. Because in theory, he's served his 21-day ban. He will become available for Notts once again for their final 3 one-day cup matches. Notts 5 from 5 so far, so not exactly crying out for a player to boost their prospects of qualification, because they're 1 win away from probably securing a home semi-final in the one-day cup. Having hammered Yorkshire yesterday, bought them out very cheaply. Junaid once more from the far end, and Sol defending this time from the crease out to extra cover. Imad Wazim going across there to his right-hand side of field, and there is no run. Whether Notts will be taking further disciplinary action would seem unlikely, would suggest, having served his 21-day ban. But Hales is in a right old pickle now, because he's only got a white ball deal with Notts. Only 3 more white ball games to come. Certain Notts will have at least 1 more, you would think, with the way they're placed in the North Group of the One Day Cup. As Junaid moves in again, and Sol just pushes in front of point here. They're going to go through for a sharp single before Barbara Azam can come up to his right-hand side. So Sol gets his second run, 1-4-2 for 5. But then there's a big block of I think it's 8 weeks of only championship cricket. So what Alex Hales is going to do during that period, he would hope, the plan was for him, was to be involved with the England one-day setup. But will not now be involved in those matches. And with only championship cricket for the start of the T20 competition in July, unless his deal with Notts changes in the not too distant future, as Junaid just loses his run up here, and Hales could be kicking his heels for a while.
I think initially when he took up the white ball contract, he was hoping to get selected in the IPL, which didn't happen, so that was another big blow for him. Things not going well for Alex Hales at the moment.
Junaid once more from the far end. Cobb clears the front leg here and hammers it over mid-wicket for 4. Well, we haven't seen a shot like that. .73, and Tom Sol in his first appearance of the summer for the Northants first team has 2. And Emil will continue here, having returned from the Wantage Road end. Has bowled a couple of overs on return 6 overs in his day's work so far.
So in comes Amir to Tom Sol, who just plays this one out towards mid-wicket. They jog through for another single. .147 for 5 now. Effectively 6 though. Vasconcelos having retired hurt early on for just 1. Josh Cobb on to 73. He's on strike here to Amir and drives this one over the covers, but out to the sweeper there for just a single. 15 overs left after this one, and Josh Cobb showing a little bit of an intent now to up the scoring rate. So the last recognised pair though at the crease for Northants, having won the toss and decided to bat first this morning. Here comes Amir. This time to Sol, who just defends it straight back to him. And in fact, there's a caught and bowled appeal there from Mohammed Amir. It looked like a bump ball, and the umpires are just going to discuss this. It was a sharp catch in the end by Amir down to his left with the one hand, but it certainly looked like a bump ball initially. And the umpires just discussing what has happened here. I think it's going to be given not out.
Yeah,
it was a half-hearted appeal from the Pakistanis. Mohammed Amir was the only one who was really interested, and he's going to have to go and bowl another delivery to Tom Sol after that.
It was very full, and he just dug it out. I suppose the question was whether the ball had just kicked him off the turf first, looped back towards the bowler, but Mike Burns and Rob White here, the former Northants batsman, reserve list umpire, standing at this Wantage Road end.
So Amir into Sol once again. This one full and driven, straight to mid-on though. No run. Mid-on, mid-off, both in the circle. Mid-wicket in place, man in the covers. At point as well. Inside the ring. Got a deep cover on the boundary. Third man, fine leg. Deep mid-wicket as well. Once again, glorious sunshine here in Northampton. Amir comes in once again, and this one cut away beautifully backward at point. 4 runs to Tom Sol there. Lent on that one really, didn't try to hit it too hard, guided it past the backward point fielder and into the gap for another boundary to Northampton. And that's the 150 up as well, 153 for 5 now. First boundary for Tom Sol, he moves on to 7.
Just a bit of width, wasn't it? And he steered it away with the pace, nicely diverted away by Sol there.
So Amir in once again to Sol, and this one a similar delivery, but played straight to the point fielder this time. The end of the over, is it? Yes, it is. So dot ball to finish up the 35th over. 35 gone. Northants 153 for 5. Effectively 6 though. Wicket each today for Mohammed Amir, Mohammed Hasnain, Haris Sahil, Yasir Shah and Junaid Khan. Imad Wazim, the only bowler not to pick up a wicket today. Josh Cobb, by far the top scorer in the Northants lineup, still there, unbeaten on 74. And here comes Mohammed Hasnain from the far end this time. Tall figure, likes to hit the deck hard. Saw a fair bit of short stuff earlier on, including the one that hit Vasconcelos in the helmet. Eventually retired hurt as a result. And in he comes to Josh Cobb this time, short of a length and guided down towards third man. Jog through for another single.
Four overs, one maiden, 1 for 14 his initial burst from this wanted Road end, now back at the Wilson end.
And he comes once again to Soles, and that one just a play and a miss outside the off stump, taken very low by Sarfraz Ahmed. Not as much pace and carry as we've been used to seeing from Mohammed Hasnain's first spell, certainly. Bowling from the opposite end this time though. Again, taking a long time to just meander back towards his bowling mark, Hasnain. And he comes to Sol once again. And this one full and driven straight to mid-off, and they're scampering through for a single. It was a shy at the stumps at the non-striker's end. They think about running an overthrow, decide against it. It may have been close with a direct hit, but the throw was well wide in the end.
Would have been close, yeah. Straight to the fieldsman, really, and Sol almost automatically took off. And then I think after about 3 or 4 strides, he thought, oh dear.
Straight to the fielder, but he wasn't attacking the ball, the fielder.
Yeah, he was a bit on his heels.
Yeah.
I still think Sol was gone with a direct hit.
So Cobb back on strike. Hasnain makes his way in. This one's shorter and played off his hip down towards fine leg by Cobb. They run through for another single. Junaid Khan, the fielder, down at fine leg. Lots of hands in pocket still from the Pakistani fielders. Still feeling the cold. With plenty of blue sky here in Northampton this afternoon now. Bit of thick cloud in the distance as well. Hasnain makes his way into Sol this time, short, and he ducks out of the way of that one, Sol. Just heard Sarfraz Ahmed looking towards the dressing room there, calling for a helmet. Don't know whether it's for him or whether or not Pakistanis may well decide to bring a short leg fielder in at some point.
Yeah, maybe trying to use Hasnain as a bit of a battering ram here.
Yeah, Fahim Ashraf there with a helmet on the boundary rope, ready to bring it on at any point. Hasnain makes his way into Sol once again, and this one full and wrapped on the pads. Half a peel from the bowler there, but heading way down the leg side by the looks of it. And that's the end of Mohammed Hasnain's over. 36 overs gone now. Northants 156 for 5, and the helmet does come on.
So will this be spin again, perhaps, from the
Yeah, it looks like
wanted
Imad
Road
Wazim.
end? Yeah. Imad 5 overs, no maiden, 0 for 16. His first burst from the top end, and is now going to return from this Wantage Road end.
From the pavilion end, Imad Wazin.
There you go, confirmation on the loudspeaker. So Safraz calling for a helmet for himself. Standing up to the left arm spinner. He's going to come round the wicket. To Josh Cobb, and he comes. And this one full and driven wide of the long off fielder. He's about 15 yards in from the rope there. They end up running through for 2.
Fahim Ashraf down there, another substitute. Pakistanis have rotated their fieldsmen today. Fahim also with a beanie hat on.
Comes Imad again, this one short and wide, and he got away with that one, Imad, as Cobb played it straight to the short extra cover fielder, Yasir Shah. He comes again down the wicket this time, Cobb, and beautiful shots through the covers, 4 runs. It was up-ish, but straight into the gap there. It's gone underneath some of the covers there as the Pakistan substitute fielders try and gather the ball. There we go, got it back. Good shot there from Cobb, showing some intent once again down the wicket to the spinner.
Yeah, created a bit of room for himself to swing his hands at it into the 80s.
Right into Cobb again, this one very full and just defended into the offside. Josh Cobb on to 82. More than half of the runs in this Northants total so far. Imad into him once again, and again defended into the offside, no run. Does race through his overs, does Imad Wazim.
Most welcome.
Here comes to Cobb once again, this time shorter and cut away, backward of point, but straight to the fielder. So another dot ball to finish off the 37th over now. So 37 gone, Northants 162 for 5. Josh Cobb on to 82.
You can really smell the curry bar now, can't you? All the way to our right-hand side. Curry being wafted over to us on this easterly breeze.
It's doing good business by the looks of it.
It is,
well.
yeah. It's been a decent crowd down by the curry bar pretty much all day. And what's the method of cooking with that? It looks, from this distance, it looks like a bin, and they have the meat on a skewer and they'll put it into the...
Yeah, it's almost like a sort of makeshift tandoori oven,
yes,
isn't it?
yes, that's what I'm looking for, yeah. I think that's what they've got down there. Smells good anyway.
Mohamed Hasnain to continue into Cole, who guides this nicely down towards the curry bar, and Mohammed Amir fielding at third man. It's good to see lots of the Pakistani substitute fielders and the fielders on the boundary as well, signing autographs for the supporters that have come here, taking selfies as well. Something that used to happen a lot, but a lot of touring sides nowadays are a little bit more reluctant to interact with the fans on this personal level, even in warm-up matches. Certainly when the Indians are in town, the likes of MS Dhoni walking around with 3 or 4 security guards around him at all times, as Hasnain comes in to Cobb, who guides it again down to third man for another single. It's good to see this interaction.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, Pakistan, South Africa and Australia have all been here in Northampton over the last 3 or 4 years, and generally all have been game to interact with supporters. Generally set up a specific autograph signing station by the pavilion at the close of play. Plenty of selfies down there as well.
Hasnain into Tom Sole, who plays and misses, looking to guide this one down to third man once again. Slightly straighter delivery from Mohamed Hasnain this time. Straight through to Safraz Ahmed.
Certainly these type of spectators from the South Asian population in Britain that the ECB is very keen to try and tap into. type of supporter that generally only turns up at a county ground when India or Pakistan and Bangladesh are playing.
Snain into Sol once again, and doesn't deliver.
It's very strange. It was
something wrong with his footing, perhaps.
Yeah. The arm was flung back rather to sling down another, but just lost his footing.
Yeah, big South Asian strategy from the ECB launched last year, of course. Lots of community projects taking place across the UK to engage the South Asian community. It was interesting, one of the stats that came out of all of the research was that out of all the British Asians questioned in the survey, I think nearly half of them supported an IPL team, not just watched the IPL, but actually had a team that they supported. And in the T20 Blast, that percentage went down to 8%.
Cool.
So here comes Hasnain into Sol, who edges and straight over the head of the keeper, Sarfraz. He was looking to pull that one through the leg side, top edge, and it flew down to the boundary in front of us, into the sight screen. And slightly fortuitous 4 runs there for Tom Sol.
So that would include respondents of Pakistani descent. They would also...
Yeah, this was South Asians.
They would also say that they had an IPL team.
Yes, this was, all South Asians. So, yeah, nearly 50% of all questioned in that survey supported an IPL team, actually had a team which they supported and followed, not just watched it as a casual viewer. And that went down to 8% in the T20 Blast. Maybe that'll change when the 100 comes in. As Hasnain comes in, and a big swing and a miss from Tom Sol there. Looking to hit him back over his head. So yeah, part of the reason why they want to get more British Asians into county grounds, into the county setups as well, into, you know, age groups and things like that. I remember when I was playing, I was down at Leicestershire and was in the group actually is Samit Patel and Luke Wright, who's at Sussex, of course. Stuart Broad was a year younger than us as well. But me and Samit were, you know, 2 of the very few Asians in that sort of setup at that time. And now, certainly at Leicestershire, you see a lot more, and around many counties you do as well. Hasnain comes in, and this time launched way over mid-wicket by Sol. 6. Beautiful shot there. It was a full delivery, a great pickup, and just launched it into the stands there, down at mid-wicket. And 6 runs to Tom Sol, and a big cheer from the crowd, a bit of excitement finally.
That's come off the roof of the signal box away to our left-hand side, and a few spectators looking nervously upwards to see if it's dislodged a tile. That was a massive strike from Sol. Just picked it up off a length, clearing the front leg. Beautiful piece of timing. It's a long part of the ground as well, over square leg to our left. That has sailed away. Wonderful strike.
Absolutely. So certainly upping the pace here, Northamptonshire. That's the end of the 38th over as well.
So did this survey say anything about why British Asians were physically supporting an IPL team? Was it just because...
Standard of cricket, I suppose, as compared to the T20 Blast. Lots of international players playing in the IPL. standard of cricket is very high. As we see Imad into Cobb, just defended into the offside, no run. It's just that the razzmatazz, the Bollywood connection as well. Lots of South Asians watch Bollywood films, a lot of Bollywood actors and actresses associated with IPL teams as well. Imad comes in, this time Fuller and driven wide of long off. I think about 2, and they get there in the end. Lazy bit of fielding down on the boundary by Mohammed Amir, I think it is. Just jogging away to his left. In fact, it's Junaid Khan, his opening partner. This time Cobb gives himself some room and drives this straight to Junaid. Just a single there to Cobb.
See, I always think that the standard of the T20 Blast holds up pretty well compared to other T20 tournaments.
Here comes Imad into Sol this time, who just flicks it into the leg side off his pad and run through for a leg bye.
Obviously,
yeah, standard. You're right, but I suppose it's the star power, isn't it?
Yeah. There's not 4 big international stars in each T20 Blast team.
Imad in this one, a play and a miss from Cobb outside the off stump. Yeah, it's the 4 overseas players, the 4 stars, and they generally have 5 or 6 in the squad from overseas. Plus, you get all the Indian big names as well, which you don't get over here.
Yes.
Imad into Cobb again, who just drives it straight back to him. No run. So dot ball to finish off that over from Imad Wasim. 39 overs gone now. Northants 179 for 5. So yeah, there was this stuff about the IPL in the South Asian Action Plan, which was launched by the ECB. There was things about facilities in parks cricket, which a lot of Asians do play in proper club cricket, but a lot of them are still involved in parks leagues, which were launched way back in the 60s and 70s when people like my parents would have come to this country. And I know certainly my dad and a lot of the Indian community in Leicester, where we're from, used to just play parks cricket and form their own teams, and a lot of these teams have survived through the years, and even as other players of a higher standard move into club cricket and play the traditional sort of ECB sanctioned Premier divisions and things like that. Parks leagues are still going, but the facilities there are not very good. So it's very difficult for a lot of these players to sort of progress to the next level, and that was part of it as well. The ECB just making sure they've got changing rooms and toilets and things like that, which we take for granted, don't we, playing club cricket? But often you have to you don't have the simple facilities, and it's very difficult. As Yasir Shah comes back into the attack, and Sol just cuts this one away towards the cover boundary for a single. And often as a 12, 13-year-old, if you're playing in those conditions, you might well be put off and you might not want to continue your cricket career. So we see Josh Cobb back on strike. He's on 86 now. Yasir Shah comes in and Cobb just plays this one to backward point. No run. And even things like coaching as well, when players, finish their club cricket careers in their mid-30s, 40s, whatever it might be, often they just would give it up. And the ECB wants them to get into coaching, to give a bit back, as Shah comes in. This one driven towards long off for a single to Cobb. So it's just about keeping the South Asian community involved within cricket in the country in all aspects, really.
Yeah, most admirable aim. Hopefully they find some success.
This time shorter from Shah and punched off the back foot out towards the cover boundary from Sol.
Whether the 100 is something to get them streaming into county grounds is another thing entirely. I don't quite get how, if they don't turn up to watch, say, the population of Birmingham, if they don't already turn up to watch a team who are called Birmingham, have a different identity to Warwickshire.
Shah into Cobb, who launches this towards Cow Corner, and it's going to be just one bounce, I think. 4 runs. Just a yard inside the rope, that bounce. It was a good pick up from Cobb. Big gap out there towards cow corner. 20 yards or so wide of the long on fielder. Another boundary to Josh Cobb, who moves into the 90s now. 91 not out for the North. In a very, very good innings here today.
As he did from this wantage rider, picking up on anything ever so slightly short there to pull it away. Deep mid wicket now goes back to plug that gap.
Comes Shah to Cobb once again. Again short and pulled away towards cow corner. Couple of bounces and then fielded by the long on fielder running round towards his right. And they're through for 2 more runs. 188 for 5 now, Northants. 40 overs gone. And Cobb moves on to 93. Been a good little innings from Tom Sole at the other end, 21.
Have you garnered any opinion at all from the South Asian community about whether the 100's something they might be prepared to give a try?
Do you know what some people are excited about? The fact that there's been a few rumours about MS Dhoni perhaps retiring after this Cricket World Cup. And once he is retired, there's a few rumours that he may well be offered big money to come and play in the 100. He, along with the likes of Yuvraj Singh, who no plays for India as well. So if 1 or 2 of those big guns make the journey, then perhaps they may stream in to watch them.
Here's Imad Wasim then, bowling to Tom Sole. He goes back and cuts to deep cover, away to our left-hand side, and they get a single to begin the 41st over here, Northants. 188 for 5 they are, and Cobb is on 93 not out, about to take guard once. Would be a 7th, list a century. His highest score of the season so far here. Imad in, this is driven away, down to long off. And there is a single more, Cobb to 94, 189 for 5. Presumably that would also, that would still need BCCI approval, would it?
Not if he retires from international cricket.
Okay.
Because he would no longer be contracted to the BCCI as such. Just watch this delivery from Imad.
It's swept and missed an LBW. Sole has gone. He's just swept across a straight one there. And Imad has a wicket. And Northants are 189 for 6, and a promising little knock there from Sole comes to an end. He struck that mighty 6 over square leg. Now goes for 22. A few cries of Zinabad Pakistan around the ground again here now. 189 for 6.
It was a quicker delivery there from Imad Wasim. Down on one knee was Tom Sole, looking to sweep that one into the leg side and trap plumb in front in the end, but a useful knock from him. 22. Good support for Josh Cobb. It wasn't a boring 22 either. Played some good shots in there, including that huge 6 over mid wicket.
Now Northants down to the bowlers with Brett Hutton, Nathan Buck and Mohamed Azarullah to come, but Cobb still there on 94. I mean, these Indian players are the golden ticket really to worldwide exposure in the game, because that would just totally open up the Indian television market if Dhoni or Yuvraj were to come over and play in this new competition.
Absolutely, and that's you see that whenever Indian players rarely make an appearance for a county. I know Cheteshwar Pujara, for example, has played a few seasons of county cricket, but he's not involved in the white ball formats for India. But whenever you do see the likes of Zahir Khan back in 06, I think it was, and things like that, the Indians do turn up in big numbers to watch their heroes in action. And we saw Virender Sehwag at Leicestershire a number of years back. Shahid Afridi's played a bit of county cricket over the years for various counties. And they do turn out in their droves, these Indians and Pakistanis, to watch their heroes in action.
Brett Hutton's the new man, and Hutton is poking forward here in his first appearance of the season, playing out to short third man, and there is no run. Well, now the scoreboard away to our right-hand side has decided to change format, and we've got some new statistics over there now. We do know the score, which is good, 189 for 6, as Imad bowls a low full toss, which Hutton moves away to mid-wicket, and there is no run. He's missed first part of Northants season with injury, Brett Hutton. But back here facing Imad Wazim and looking to flick leg side. Just down the leg side it goes. Wondered if there was a touch off the batsman's pads, but straight through to the gloves of Sarfraz. 190 for 6. No sooner had the scoreboard returned, it's flicked off again to our right as Imad bowls again, and this is driven out to extra cover by Hutton, and the over comes to an end. 41 gone here, 190 for 6 Northants. Josh Cobb on 94 not out. Hutton out here at number 9. Just Buck and Azarullah to come for Northants. Vasconcelos having retired on 1, retired hurt earlier in the innings, has passed the concussion protocol that took place after he left the field, but not going to bat. We understand again. So Cobb here on 94, 1 hit away from what would be a impressive century against a very good Pakistan attack here. Waits for Yazir Shah. He's going to bowl his 9th over from the Wilson end. Right arm over, and Cobb just steadily forward here, covering up. Pushing back out towards the bowler's left hand. There's a short third man, a backward point, a deep cover, extra cover. Long off, long on, deep mid-wicket, deep square. And then short fine leg. 5 men allowed outside the 30-yard circle here in the final 10 as Cobb pulls out towards deep mid-wicket. As he found the gap? He has. Excellent placement from Josh Cobb. Picks up his 10th boundary. Found the gap between long on and deep mid-wicket, and is now just 2 runs away from a century. Captain for the day here, Cobb. A vital innings. Has found little support from the rest of the order, but on the verge of a century here. Shah from the far end. Cobb forward, struck on the pad appeal for LBW. Umpire has a careful look and says not out. Heart in mouth moment for Cobb, looking to flick leg side. 1 from Yazir, just skipping past into the front pad, maybe sliding down. He gets away with it.
Big appeal, wasn't it, from Yazir Shah? Looked very, very excited about that, perhaps just sliding down the leg. And Cobb survives, still there on 98.
Shah once again from the far end, quite flat on. Cobb's bowled, does he know? Well, he was going back to cut and missed, and Sarfraz in the end struck on the hand. The way that Cobb turned round, I thought he was about to walk off. The ball could not have missed the bails by much. He just leapt on Cobb a bit there. Yazir bowls again, and Cobb just carefully forward this time, playing back towards backward point. Barbara Azam is there, and there is no run. 1-9-4 for 6 Northants in the 42nd over. Yazir in again. And Cobb just turns this into the onside. They're going to scamper away for, in the end, an easy single, because there's a huge gap there out on the onside in front of himself going across the field. And the over comes to an end. So Cobb will keep the bowling on 99. And Northants 1-9-5 for 6 in the 42nd over. On a pleasant enough day here at Wantage Road. 1 or 2 in, not a massive crowd, but a few enjoying the cricket, enjoying the tourists on their way up the M1. Beckenham on Saturday, Northampton here today, and then Leicester on Wednesday before series against England begins at the weekend down in Cardiff. 1-9-5 for 6. Cobb on 99, pushes forward but only plays back up to extra cover. And the weight goes on. Looking for a straightish ball here. Just a nudge single out on the onside. Big out there at square leg. Wazim is in, and this is pushed away through the covers. And Josh Cobb wanders through for a single to go to 100. FM update now for BBC Radio Northampton.
That's 100 for Josh.
Josh Cobb has just got to his century here for Northamptonshire. Captain for the day, has led his side really well. There's been little support really from the other end. Northants have lost regular wickets and they're 196 for 6 in the 43rd over here, but Cobb going through to an excellent century really, a high-class Pakistan attack here as they build up for the series against England and then the World Cup to follow that, but Cobb has led Northants well, 100 not out, 7 for 6 in the 43rd over. Back with you online and on Radio 5 Live Sports Extra. Cobb going back here to cut, pushing down towards long off to our left-hand side and picking up another single, goes to 101. 198 for 6 Northants. Cobb going to a 7th list day century as Hutton here gets a very full delivery that he digs out down the ground and may get a couple of runs as they scamper back here. Now they're just going to settle for one as Amir runs to his left-hand side from long on. So Hutton goes to 2 and Northants 199 for 6. Imad in and Cobb down the pitch, tries to go up and over long off and has struck it really well up into the Ken Turner stand. What a fine blow that is from Cobb. A shimmy down the wicket, posting it way back over long off and almost takes out a photographer. Away to our left hand side, sat in the front row of the Ken Turner stand, and the photographer now gets up and lobs the ball back over the balcony.
125 balls with 10 fours and 1 6.
Applause there for Josh Cobb's 7th list day 100, and now Nikesh, maybe he'll open his shoulders in the final 7 overs here. 205 for 6 Northants.
I think he has to, and he's certainly seeing the ball very well indeed. The spinner's not really getting much turn from this wicket, so able to just shimmy down the wicket that previous delivery and smack Imad over his head.
Yazir from the far end. Hutton goes back to Paul here, just chops it down towards long off and will pick up a single. So Hutton now goes to 3. 206 for 6 in the 44th now here, Northants. Yazir once more, and Cobb playing this as late as possible, can only force it out as far as Babar Azam at backward point for no run. Cobb settles over his bat once more as Yazir moves in with this great energy of his run-up and bowls just outside the off stump, and Cobb is cutting out to deep cover, round to our right-hand side. And they take just another single, so Cobb to 108, 207 for 6. Yazir now to the number 9 Hutton, who's reverse sweeping here. Caught it fairly well, but straight to Mohammed Amir at short third man on the edge of the 30-yard circle around to our right-hand side. Yazir throws himself a catch, ball back in his right hand, comes in again, and Hutton waits for this and works it into the leg side, out through square leg. And they go through for just a single more. Gentle single taken. Hutton goes to 4, 208 for 6, and the alternative scoreboard is back now, away to our right-hand side. Yes, we've got some figures over there now, which is good to see. Yazir comes in again, and Cobb goes to pull. This is high in the air, out towards mid-wicket, and it's gone way back for 6 more. Big strike from Cobb, hitting with the breeze out towards the covered stand. Hammers Yazir away, and goes to a 14 at the end of the 43rd over. 214 for 6, Northamptonshire. Cobb striking it well, Nikesh.
Absolutely, that was a big 6, long boundary over there towards deep mid-wicket. And they certainly got all of that. It was dragged short by Yasir Shah. He's done that a couple of times this afternoon. But it's generally bowled very well indeed, even though he's not had much purchase from the wicket. Looks like we're going to see some more seam into the attack. Mohammed Hasnain.
Change of bowling from the pavilion end, Mohammed Hasnain.
So changing ends again here, Hasnain, who struck both Vasconcelos and Charlie Thurston on the helmet earlier on. The blow to Vasconcelos so serious he had to go off the ground, but is okay, we believe. But not set to bat again as a precaution with the one-day cup match against Yorkshire coming up on Wednesday. So up goes Hasnain, right arm over, bowls a decent Yorker that's dug out by Hutton to mid-wicket, and there is no run. So 2:14 for 6, and Northants, with the wickets they've lost really, I suppose, just looking to bat out the overs now. They've only got Buck and Mohammed Azarullah to come.
If it wasn't for Josh Cobb, this innings would have been over a long, long time ago. Fabulous innings from him, 114 not out still. Can he get Northants up to 250 total, perhaps?
Hasnain runs past Cobb and bowls to Hutton, who tries to swing this down the ground, mistimes it. The ball runs only as far as mid-wicket, and there is no run. So Cobb here going to his 7th List A century, his first since 2015. And he made 100 at the racecourse ground in Derby. 104 he made there in a losing cause, if my memory serves me correctly. Indeed, Derbyshire chasing 2-3-2 to win by 7 wickets. And you dare suggest this century may also be in vain as Hasnain goes in and Hutton, trying to flick leg side, gets beaten. Shuffled a long way outside his leg stump there. Hasnain followed him. Hutton tried to clip it away and missed, and Sarfraz takes it outside his left hip.
Big appeal from Sarfraz as well for a caught behind. No interest from the bowler, Mohammed Hasnain.
Third man long leg, deep square, and in fact there's going to be a change of the field now, is there? Just about. Deep square being moved round to deep mid-wicket towards the groundsman shed to our right, and mid-wicket goes across to square leg, long on, deep point, and third man also out as Hasnain bowls another good Yorker that Hutton can only dig out back up the pitch, and it cannons into the non-striker's end stumps. Good stuff here from Mohammed Hasnain. 19-year-old has come in and bowled quick today. He's been impressive.
He has. His first over was a little bit of a loosener, and he certainly bent his back after that, getting good pace and carry from the wicket. Lots of short stuff early on. Now digging in those Yorkers well as well. Seem to produce a lot of these fast bowlers at very young ages, do Pakistan.
Hasnain charging in again past the umpire, and Hutton works this leg side. There's no square leg now, it's gone round to short fine leg, so a single here to deep square, away to our right hand side, running away from the scoreboard, which now has a bit more information on it because we've got the bowlers figures out there as well, which we didn't on the other format of that big screen. So they've been tinkering around, it appears, in the scorer's box today.
Yasir Shah, 61 runs conceded from his 10 overs. He was quite expensive at the weekend as well.
Hasnain goes up again, past the umpire, and bowls a back of a length ball to Cobb, who tries to dab it down out on the leg side and gets struck on the glove there. The ball falls to earth, a couple of yards away from the bat, and the over comes to an end. So a really good set there from Mohammed Hasnain, who has bowled, as we've been saying, impressively so far today. 45 gone, and Northants 2:15 for 6. Cobb 140 not out has led Northants through the innings. Yeah, he goes here on Saturday at Beckenham, 10 overs, 3 for 90 in the end, so it was expensive. Here is what Pakistan will hope is only a stopgap before Shadab Khan can return to full health and rejoin the squad, but he's flown back home for treatment.
As we see Mohammed Amir back into the attack, change of ends from him. Last 5 overs of this innings then, Northants 215 for 6, Josh Cobb 114 not out, fabulous innings from him. Brett Hutton at the other end, unbeaten on 5. So Josh Cobb, am I right in thinking he's been here since 2014? Is that his first season at Northants?
2015 was his first season, yeah. Yeah, he arrived just after that. Annus Horribilis in 2014, Northants.
Correction, change of bowling, Junaid Khan.
Didn't win a game in Division 1 and bombed out horribly in both the white ball competitions as well. It sparked a bit of a clear out. Alex Wakely was appointed club captain, replacing Stephen Peters. A couple of the senior players left, David Sales, who's now the batting coach, being one of those, and Cobb, one of a number of faces brought in to initially try to rebuild with a focus on the white ball game.
And he came from another county with a horrible record in those times as well. Hasn't improved too much since then. Slightly better for Leicestershire, of course, but Cobb, one of the mass clear out at Grace Road at that time as well, as Junaid Khan comes into the attack now. And this one just clipped round the corner and a misfield at short fine leg. And it's going to be 4 runs there to Hutton. Terrible bit of fielding there on the edge of the circle. Here's Mohammed Hasnain there with his woolly hat on.
Oh dear.
Comical stuff.
Why are they so bad?
And it was a no ball, so it's going to be a free hit as well.
Terrible cricket all round.
Yeah.
Why are these Pakistanis never, ever very good at fielding? Do they not teach fielding in Pakistan, or they do not see it as a required skill?
Absolutely no idea. I mean, certainly
bizarre,
the players
isn't it?
look a lot fitter nowadays.
Yeah.
But they don't seem to be diving around as much. I don't know if the colder weather here in the early part of the English season has anything to do with that. Junaid comes in for this free hit and gives himself some room. Hutton, and playing a miss. Moved over to the leg side there. He's asking for the wide, but he was way down the leg side when he tried to play that over the offside. And it's straight through to Sarfraz, and they get away with a dot ball on the free hit.
Yeah, they've gone to that short ball for the free hits quite well so far.
The short fine leg moves down towards a square leg. It's going to be Junaid into Hutton once again. This one short and pulled away towards cow corner, and it's going to beat the fielder at mid-wicket. 4 runs, good placement there from Brett Hutton, good contact as well. Straight off the middle of the bat. There's 4 more runs to Hutton and Northants, so 224 for 6 now in the 46th over. Hutton moves on to 13.
Very nicely struck. A little agricultural, but timed nicely.
A big gap on the leg side towards mid-wicket, just the square leg inside the circle on the leg side. Now the deep mid-wicket fielder moving slightly straighter towards cow corner as Junaid comes into Hutton once again. Again short, but a slower, shorter delivery. And a play and a miss from Hutton. That was well bowled.
Yeah, it was. Just rolled his fingers across it. Hutton looking to slap away into a similar region. This time Junaid gets one through.
Hutton on 13, Cobb at the other end, 114 for him. Junaid comes in once again to Hutton, again short, and he loses his bat in the end. In fact, he's broken his bat. He's still got his handle in his hand. But the rest of the bat face flies over towards mid-wicket and is picked up by Hasnain, who hands it back to Hutton, who's going to have to call for a change of bat here. He was looking to pull that one away towards cow corner, ended up scooping it over the bowler's head. They run through for a single, and lots of giggles in the crowd as well, as Brett Hutton calls out for a new bat.
I don't think I've seen that before. I've seen plenty of bats breaking and plenty of players just losing the bat completely as they go through for a shot. But the handle completely coming away from the bat there.
Yeah, still in his hands as he was running through for the single as well.
It was like he was suddenly in the 4x400 metre relay with the bat on his hand as he went through for the run.
Right, change of bat. And It's going to be Josh Cobb on strike, 114 not out. So Northants 225 for 6 now in the 46th over. And they get up and beyond the 250 mark from here on in. In comes Junaid to Cobb. This one Fallens hit straight back over his head, dispatched over the sight screen, into the sight screen in fact. 6 runs. It was a very full delivery there from Junaid Khan. And Cobb not coming down the wicket towards the ball, just rocking back in his crease and lofting it straight back over the bowler's head for 6 runs. Beautiful timing there once again.
Yeah, much better strike than I first thought. Didn't make a great sound, I didn't think, off the bat there. I thought it was going straight up in the air, but it was actually a very nicely timed stroke down the ground.
So what response does Junaid have? He's in here to Cobb. This one fallen, driven through the covers, 4 more runs. This time all the way along the carpet. It was a wide, low full toss. And Cobb giving himself some room, moving his front foot out of the way, beating the extra cover fielder straight into the boundary for 4 more runs. So the Pakistani bowlers taking a bit of tap here towards the back end of the innings.
This is just what Northants would have wanted from Cobb here today. Finding a bit of form, has really struggled so far in the One Day Cup, but this is now his 3rd highest list A score. And not too far to go to bring up a career best either.
124 not out at the moment. 4 more overs remaining after this. So Junaid in once again to Cobb. Again fallen, driven over backward point. It's 6 runs. Wow, he was down on one knee there. Was Cobb looking to drive through the covers, lofted it in the end over backward point. And over the boundary rope for 6 more runs. So an expensive over there. Once again from Junaid Khan, who's conceded 54, I think it is, from his 8 overs so far. That's 46 overs gone. That's 242 for 6.
Josh Cobb's 5th maximum now, and it's now his 2nd highest score. So he's now only got to get past the 137 he made for Leicestershire back in 2012 when he was bursting onto the scene, and that great couple of years where 5 of his now 7 list A hundreds came. The first 2 years of his career already, 2012 and 2013, but the 100 he made for Leicestershire against Lancashire, 137, remains his career best, possibly until today.
So Mohammed Amir back into the attack. Into Hutties and misses outside the off stump, looking to slay that one through the offside. He had a fabulous start to his career, Josh Cobb, down at Leicestershire. His dad was a coach there for many years in the academy, coached me, Russell Cobb.
You still see him around now and again?
Yep. Still has an association with Kibworth Cricket Club,
yeah,
just up the road from here as well. So Amir comes into Hutton, who slays this backward of point. It's fielded eventually. They jog through for a single. So into the 47th over. That 250. Looks like it definitely will happen. 243 for 6. Can they get up to the 270 mark now? That would be a competitive score. So Amir comes in to Josh Cobb. Fallen, driven uppishly over mid-off. And is it going to have enough legs to go for 6? Yes, it is. Just over the rope down at long off. No long off fielder in place. And that's another maximum to Josh Cobb, who moves to within 1 of his all-time highest list A score. He's on to 136. Northants 249 for 6 now.
Another excellent strike from Cobb. It's back to his best here now. Great striking.
Again, it didn't look as though he timed that one too well. Had enough legs to make it over the boundary once again. Amir into Cobb again. This one wide and full. Left alone by Cobb, who was looking to give himself some room towards the leg side. Amir just pushing that one wide of the off stump. Still the fielder at mid-off, inside the circle. Hasn't been pushed back onto the boundary as of yet. Samir comes into Cobb once again. Again full in this one, inside edge down towards fine leg. They're looking for two. And they make it quite comfortably in the end. And that is the highest score for Josh Cobb in List A cricket. He moves on to 138, and that's the 250 for Northants as well. 250 for 6, effectively 7, in the 47th over. It's been a very good recovery indeed, led by Josh Cobb. In comes Amir to Cobb again. This one wide and full, reaching for it outside his off stump was Cobb, but it's not signalled wide, and that's the end of the 47th over. Northants 251 for 6. Cobb on to 138.
Yeah, this innings keenly appreciated, I'm sure, by the Northants balcony. Career best here for Cobb. He'll be getting the drinks in either later today or later in the week when they gather in the bar. Still keep the old traditions going here at Northants. Career best effort. You get the drinks in. He's played well. He could have been run out earlier on. Called through for a single that was never there, really, by Ben Curran, but survived. Hasn't given a chance. Played the mist a couple of times early on, but hasn't given a chance. Been a fine effort, a welcome return to form for him. His form has been poor, really, in the Royal London Cup so far.
And he was a bit twitchy early on. You could tell he was a man out of form, but he stuck it out through those early overs. And it was difficult going against the likes of Amir and Junaid Khan early up with the new ball. Junaid Khan continuing now to Hutton. Full and driven down towards long on for a single. It's interesting to see how many sort of full-length Yorker deliveries these days are dispatched by the batsman, because, you know, in years gone by, a Yorker was a good delivery. Nowadays, the batsmen rocking onto their back foot, well inside the crease, batting deep in their crease, clearing their front foot out of the way. It could almost be a bad delivery at times. As Junaid comes into Cobb this time, who drives this away to deep cover for another single.
I still think a good Yorker is the best delivery at the death. If a fella's going to get down on one knee and paddle sweep you over the keeper, I think you've just got to put your hands up and say, well bowled.
You do see a lot more slower balls bowled towards the death now, rather than the traditional Yorkers. Junaid comes in to Hutton this time. Again full and driven down the ground towards long off for another single. 3 Yorkers to start this over, this 48th over of the innings from Junaid Khan. He's been expensive today, 62 runs conceded midway through his 9th over. Cobb back on strike to Junaid, again full and just squeezed out into the offside for another single. Good bowling so far in this over from Junaid Khan. 4 Yorkers, 4 singles. Cobb moves on to 140 with that. Junaid in once again to Hutton this time, who flicks that down towards fine leg. He moved over to the offside. Junaid Khan followed him, but Hutton getting the ball on the full and just flicking it round the corner, beating the short fine leg fielder, and all the way along the ground for 4 runs.
Had a good touch from Hutton.
Absolutely.
He's a big fella. He can strike a good ball, but showing a different side of his game there. Very nicely steered away.
And he moves on to 21.